Right, while we're in the mood for still life, we'll have another go at one. I'll show you the whole process if I can, or my way of it. Let's zoom into that. That's the model. I picked the flower off the bunch of flower off the garden about half an hour ago, and I took a photograph of the arrangement, but it was a bit dark, so I'm working from the model, so to speak. I'm doing it portrait format. The pot is a beautiful little object. I'll show you the scale of it in my hand. Made by a friend of ours, Warwick, a great friend, who's turning into be a really fine potter. She got loads of this, and she sells quite a bit. But that one really struck me. We saw it the other day, Sunday when we were there for lunch, and it was so good I just had to have it. And it looks nice with that flower. It's on my old laptop, so we'll invent a surface for it. So what I'm going to do now is to have a go at drawing it with a bit of charcoal. So bear with me, because I don't practice this. I go really straight in with the paint, but we'll put it here, slightly offset. Bit of charcoal, nice shape. Try and get it symmetrical. Down to there. It's just a little. It's probably just a bit fat. But we can adjust that with the background, which we'll invent. So that's the base, nice round base, and we can put a bit of reflection, and the flower comes out of here with these bits of buds sticking up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a big one there. Then I don't do flowers. I don't know why, they're just objects, aren't they? There's another trumpet coming up here. This will only be an approximate, and put a couple of leaves in there fallen. Okay, something like that. So, now to start. So the way I did the last one was to just work around the edges of it to create the shape, not working from the inside out, but working from the outside in. Then we can, then you can do it whichever way you want. So we'll put it on the table, which will be reflective, so we can show some of this. The pot itself is grey. With light grey, lots of mottles, and we've got another, and this is all more than I've done, but, and then we've got lots of mottles and all sorts of speckles and stuff in this. It's there. This is a darker grey glaze. But Caroline is getting really good with some of her glazes. We've got a lot of her stuff. Buy it while you can, before it inflates, because it will. She's put a lot of effort into doing this pottery. And Pete, her husband, paints abstracts. Some of his stuff is really nice. But I'm not an abstract painter really. Okay, well there we are, that's approximate. Right, paints, any old paints. The red, I've got some nice vermilion for that. I can mix it, make light red by adding lemon yellow to it. A bit of viridian. There's my messy palette. All acrylic. what I've done with the surface of this paper, it's any old watercolour paper. I've gone over it with some PVA glue, diluted, sorry about the camera there. I'll move my tripod, hold on, there we go, that's it, so I don't clatter into it. I can't do full portrait on the camera, I don't know how to do that, even if I can. Could, I don't know. This woodworking adhesive, PVA glue, it's the binder for the pigment for PVA acrylics. It's all the same, it's all glue. Pigments, well, many of them are synthetic pigments now, but they're okay, they're fine. I just dilute some of that in water, give it a good shake in this little Gaviscon pot. There's hardly any left there. I mixed some plaster of Paris in with it. Plaster of Paris is a very good. I might have made the opening of that a bit too big, so I'll come in on that. So let's get a nice background. So what's a complementary colour to grey? Well, there isn't really. I want probably a light green to complement the flowers. So let's try a greeny colour. Green, nice and thin. Good white. So let's just get that shape in there. That it's more pinched than I've showed it, so we'll shown it. So we'll. So let's just get that in there. This all dries very quickly. So I'm just using a bit of water, a bit of a grey green, maybe a bit of lemon yellow in there. Okay, so we're going to cover up all of the drawing, of course. It's just an aid memoir. Viridian's a lovely colour when mixed with white. It's a very cold green. But we'll see how we go. Go there. Nice down there. It's quite a fat pot. I've only ever done, apart from the one I've just uploading at the moment, I've only ever done 2 still lifes. I don't know why I don't do more. They're no more difficult than anything else really, although you do struggle trying to get the symmetry right on these things. So we'll put a warm colour for the table, I think. So I did take the original photograph on my dining table. So let's just put that in. Bit of red. We can always change it if we don't like it. Now, I like to keep everything soft. So just bear that in mind. Lost and found, blending edges, all nice and light. Light, I didn't mean to say light. Right. Let's thicken up now. Let's get some good fluid. A bit of ultramarine in that. Why not? Have fun with your paints. I'm just experimenting with this at the moment, the colours. They might be totally wrong. I haven't got a great colour sense other than complementary colours. I'll put the grey in a minute for the vase, for the first coat of the vase. can put bits and bobs in. Just a nondescript background. The object is the vase and the flower, not the background. The background just there as a support. The light's coming from the right. Right, let's put a bit of grey. It's a warmish grey, so I'll use a bit of black and a bit of yellow ochre and plenty of white. See what sort of colour we get. Right, let's get that in. That's quite a light grey there. Lighter than that even, but slightly warm. Remember the name, folks, Caroline Warwick. I'm sure she's on Google. Right, get that in there. Now, same colour down here, but this is lighter than this, but I'm going to drag over it. All rough, don't try to get the finished article at this stage, we're just blocking in, and our darker stuff will be underneath here. Blend all the edges, keep it all nice and now we put a darker grey in this. Okay, now I think there's still probably a bit large there. It's quite the lovely thing about this pot is that it's pinched at the top somewhat, and really. Really lovely. Now we've got to concentrate on the background before we do. Let that dry for a little bit. Well, let's. And that goes more around. It shows more like this. But I need some black. I like black. You don't have to use it. You can make your darks however you want. But I reckon it's well, I'm quoting Monet, the queen of colours. It's either Monet or Manet. Manet used a lot of black. But we're talking grey, dark greys here. So what's it going to do? Oh yeah, this is coming more around there. Coming out there. Alright, don't get too carried away, baby. Right, let's just drop that in there. I'll do it with a bigger brush. Slightly bigger brush anyway. There's too dark, really, but it's darker than the surrounding. Nice worn out brush. Up there, because that's in shadow here. dodgy bits, these dogs. Like he's in the glaze. Caroline's getting, oh I did say, but she's getting so good with the glazes. But they're very, very attractive. Alright, let's get some highlights under here. The base of it. If you see this before you see the other still life, so yesterday or Sunday we went to the Art in Action fair in Oxford, Waterperry Park or something like that. Big country estate, lovely grounds. That's leaning over a bit, isn't it? So let's change that a little bit. Go back to my table colour. That's a bit too dark. Well, it doesn't look too bad, does it? It's going to have a lot more light in it, but I'm waiting for that to dry, so we'll go back onto the background. We'll have a go put in the front bin. Alright, so all this space here could be filled with reflection and a few of those petals. Blue is probably a bit dark, so let's go much lighter with this. Plenty of pigment now. Sort of nondescript. You don't have to paint wallpaper or anything like that. Just, well, if I was painting wallpaper, it'd take too long, wouldn't it? Let's get that white in there. I nearly bought a tube of emerald green. I've probably got some in my drawer here. So we'll just show that reflects it. Oh, got a bit high there. Just reflecting background. On the table. Look, all soft. And I reckon we can drag over that some sort of other colour, maybe a touch of red, which we're going to put in the. No. Let's get that off. Right, let's paint. Go back to the pot and put in some of this dull grey. Just showing some light catching that. I will detail it a bit later. Got a bit of horrible stuff on there. Get this in nice and light. Building up a surface on here. Not lots of light around there. Get that nice in here. Okay, so that is probably a bit too curvy there. Right, get the light. Touch of yellow ochre, I think, in there. Just showing in there, a bit down there. Oops, lovely did that. Just put something there. Just some bit of sparkle on there where it's catching with the light. And then we'll just, with another brush, I think. We'll just get the light grey coming under here. Right, and then we've got the darker grey. I don't want this to look too clean. And we'll put these blobs of grey on. Before we go back to our flowers and have a go at them. Just when you get the idea that I don't want to do too many because it will just look a bit mannered. The same here. Soften them off a bit. Of course, landscapes, well, I love landscape, as you know, but there's no end to the subjects you can make out of flowers and vases and all sorts of things. The key to it is painting what you see, not what you think you see. If you see a bit of light, paint it as light. Don't do any more to it. To paint it as the light. Now we've got quite a bit of dark under here. These bits of quirks in the glaze. We congregate here because that is spherical. Excuse me. Just dragging over the high spots here with a bit of paint that's left on the brush. Right, now we need to do the frondy bit. So it's a light green, so a bit of lemon yellow, a bit of alizarin, a bit of red. Red gives it a much more realistic greeny feel, so let's just go in. That's going to be a light green there, otherwise it won't show against a similar background. And as we come out of the green, we can add a bit of white. So come here to there, going over the back. I'll make it a bit darker. And up to there. And then we've got these nice little red bits, with yellow bits, so I better put the darker green of the the shoots. So let's put that one up there. That doesn't show yet. Another one here. Probably a bit darker. So just add a bit of red to it. Let's sort of come in a line down there. Nice and even, but getting bigger as we're coming into the blooms of these things. And this one comes down there. There it goes. Into there. A bit of alizarin under there. And they've got little bits of red on these. Nice vermilion colour. Now I've got yellow ochre all over my knee, as usual. Sort of poppy red, isn't it? And then we've got another petal coming down here somewhere. It's crossing over there. And it's got that. Okay. Something through the middle of it. Bit of dark, bit of blue in that alizarin. Because that's dark under there in the shadow. Keep it rough, don't try to do more than is necessary. Want a nice impressionist feel to it. Let's see that comes up into that mud there. I'll just bring that down there in the shadow side, and I'll put some light on the other side of it. Nice and really light green. Bit of white in there. And okay. Not light enough. It's too similar in tone there, I think. Let's go over the stems here, oh, that's the first one. There's a lot of detail to do on this, but this is just the roughing in stage. So now we'll come into this, like a sort of a trumpet affair. So that one's coming from this big one's going to come out here. And then, coming up there, over there. And then we've got one here, coming down there. And we can always make the red a little bit lighter by adding a touch of yellow. That one coming down there. Right, okay. Now that alizarin in there gives us the darks coming down there. Get some more alizarin in the shadow. Okay, that's coming. A bit of white mixed in with it for a bit of light. Some more. So the light shining through there. And right, then we've got more of those trumpety things. So I'm trying to paint what I see. And there's some also going in the background as well, flapping over. Right, just whack it on. Now I'm trying to show that as a really good light, but I think it's more, something more if it's pinkish in there, and get that lovely bright, brilliant vermilion in there. We've got one coming into it from there, so it's got nice green, or yellowy green. Okay. There are some nice yellows in there on these stems, so let's just put them in a bit there. Bit there. Bit there. Right, now we've got one coming out there. Oh, it's there actually. Catching the light there. We've got little stamens, I think. There's a leaf that's coming around, that's more ochre, because it's sort of, oh, and that's dark here. It's like the leaf has fallen off and it's tagged itself between or behind that. So let's just get a bit of light in there. I should change the yellow. Really use a darker yellow, cadmium yellow. So let's just catch in the light there. Right, I might have to put my lights in. I'm not sure how to do a light, really light red that isn't pink. So let's just show it like that. And we'll put in the little stamens. Bit of burnt yellow and black, I would have thought, because they're quite dark. One coming down here. Let's just get that a bit darker in there. There's no real darks in this, apart from the pot. Right, I'm going to make more of that one. That comes over the top like a bud that hasn't quite opened. Lovely plants. Got a lot of them in the garden. Right, let's get that dark in there. The shadow. Got a line around there. Got some dark in there. And some dark. Because that's in the shadow. of that one, and that's in shadow as well. So let's just get that in, and that should enhance the right. Okay, let's a bit of modelling in the vase now. I can't do much more to those flowers because I don't practice really. Right, let's just get that in there. Then I can put the highlights on this. It's on the shadow of it, of the lip. And we want some nice light going around here. Not a very good shape that, is it? So, let's change that. More symmetrical. Go back to my blue, or my alizarin. Oh, not alizarin. My green. That's better shape. I'll just come around here with that. We'll see if we can do a bit better down the bottom there. Because that is catching light from somewhere. I can see I'm putting it in because it's there. And a little bit around the bottom here. Okay. Right, now we're going to go for the light, the much lighter stuff. So we've got light here. Let's get some light. And then we've got a nice little touch of white light coming from the other windows on the left. Alright, okay. So nice lightish grey. We lost the flower, so just there's a little bit of detail on there. And then we've got that's light there. A bit of light, but not reflecting anything, it's just lighter there. And we've got that smudge of reflection from the other sides of the room, from the other windows. So that's where that light's coming from underneath. We can just draw part of the design coming around there. Right, we'll just try to show that shape here. This is dark underneath. Okay. Because that's in the shadow. That the light's coming here, but the shadow is there underneath the bowl of the pot, or the white bit of the pot. Right, let's get back to my table. Get this brush is as good as any. I want to do some light reflecting on here now. whole table. Just soften it, and we'll put some of that grey light. I'll just get some white on the palette. Right, just clean off the corner, otherwise all the colours will go into the white. It looks like I'm going to manage to get something going in one go, so that would be nice. Right, white. Big pot of white, because you use more of that than anything. A little sparing there. So we've got the greys. So let's just and dark under here. Just take those reflections down. And light reflecting. So that is picked up there. Let's just do a bit more of this. And that one is around here somewhere. Okay. So we'll just go back with the grey, just to show that shadow there. And we'll put a cast shadow in. I'll keep with the grey that I'm using, and I'm just copying the shadow that I can see around this, and it comes from there, behind the fat bit at the back. Okay. Right, now what we want to do now is a bit of flashy stuff. Get the rigger, and we'll have something like that, and that will cast a shadow. But that would be in red, wouldn't it? Shining onto my table. And one. There. Now, shadow. That's a little too obvious there, isn't it? So let's get my bit of alizarin. And no. I didn't want that to be too obvious there. Okay, I'll give that a signature. You can let me know what you think about it. Now, get a light. Let's see if we can get a light there. So if you take the lighter of the two colours and mix in the red with it, that should go lighter. Oh, marginally so, isn't it? Right, I'm going to let that go because I fear that I will make it worse than it is. So let's put it in the mount. Oops. I'll put it in the blue mount. The other one's alright in the blue mount. Oops. Okay, well there's another one. It's a grey pot with red flower, grey pot red flower. Let's zoom in, back to landscapes now I think. So there's my pot. That's the pot what I copied. There's my flower. So there, it's just an impression of a flower, isn't it? And there's my grey pot, warts and all. But I did enjoy doing it. It's a challenge. I'm not used to doing these things. But maybe if I do more of them, they'll get easier. And you might enjoy more of those demos. Meanwhile, I'll go and clear all the yellow ochre off my left leg. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.